Oh boy, this is gonna be an unpopular video. Good day, you sexy internet travelers. PHAiley here. I know it's been a while, please forgive me. Honestly, this season's anime roster has just been such a train wreck that it sort of demotivated me. But I thought I'd make this video because I wanted to talk about this trendy little anime that's gained a pretty big following this season, Kakegurui. More specifically, I wanted to discuss the problems I've had with it so far, mainly because I see these problems in a lot of different anime. Mother's Basement also just uploaded a video on Kakegurui stating his main problem with it, so I encourage you to check that out as well, but I would like to bring up a few different points. Now, this isn't to bash Kakegurui or the people that watch it. Very few anime are 100% awful or 100% perfect, and I actually do a different series for anime that are 100% awful. So to avoid complaining and implying that it's 100% terrible, I want to start off this discussion by stating the good aspects of Kakegurui. Good aspect number 1, it's got a fantastic opening theme. The energized Latin jazz opening is one of the catchiest openings I've heard in a long time. It's pretty rare to have a Latin jazz influenced opening theme, mainly because it would be completely out of place in most animes, but it really works well for an anime that goes for as much flair as Kakegurui does. Good aspect number 2, major props on coming up with an original idea for a high school anime. An anime where all the high schoolers engage in a super elite gambling megapalooza? I don't even have any anime to compare it to. So mad respect on trying to execute such an idea. And before you jump into the comment section stating a dozen different obscure high school gambling anime exceptions, I know there are going to be others. What I'm saying is that as a general rule, you don't see gambling-based high school animes, and we certainly haven't seen one that's garnered this much popularity. And now that we've discussed the good parts of Kakegurui, I want to dive into the not-so-good parts. The first thing I want to talk about is something I call the vanilla ice cream effect. Now, I'm taking this concept way out of the original context from which I initially heard it. And I know this isn't going to be the actual medical term for what I'm talking about, and it may not even be a thing at all, but it's a great way to explain a problem with this anime. It's a very simple concept, let me explain. So when people have been married a long time, 5, 10, 20 years, they often suffer from the vanilla ice cream effect, also known as sex gets boring. Sure, it's all crazy and good fun at first, but if you repeat something enough, it tends to lose the wow factor. We see this in anime all the time. The first time Goku went Super Saiyan, it was cemented as one of the most legendary moments in anime. First time Ichigo used a Bankai, everybody thought it was super cool. But then what happened? Bankai started flying everywhere. Left and right, up and down, everywhere you look, somebody's flailing their Bankai around at you. Or they have some ability that makes the Bankai obsolete. Then we have freaking 7-year-olds going Super Saiyan on us. So now, whenever someone goes Super Saiyan, it has no significance to the viewer. Whenever someone uses a Bankai, it has no significance to the viewer. Everyone just begins to expect that someone having a Bankai or having a Super Saiyan level of power is a prerequisite for the scene. Now with Kakegurui, the prerequisite for every scene seems to be everybody is batshit crazy. Even if they have normal composure at the beginning of the episode, I am completely expecting them to go full-blown Looney Tunes on me by the end. And in expecting that, it completely loses its flair when it happens. And in a way, even though each character has their own quirks about them, with them all consistently being essentially psychotic, it really becomes redundant after a while. And now I'm not going to bash something without stating a solution to the problem. The solution here is really simple. Present normal human-like characters. This wouldn't decrease the level of insanity, it would actually amplify it. Picture it this way. I'm bad with analogies, but hopefully you will sort of get the point. Let's say you're going out to the club, right? You have 2 friends willing to go. One looks like Keira Knightley, and then the other one looks like a sun-dried crocodile. Well, if you take Keira Knightley into the club, you probably won't look as good in comparison. However, if you take the sun-dried crocodile, you're gonna look great in comparison. Now how do you apply this to Kakegurui? Well, by adding in a whole bunch of level-headed normal people, you would make the insane characters seem way more insane. But the problem with adding in these level-headed people is they can't be like our one sane person who's in the story. His personality is about as deep as a fishbowl. Now, I won't go into the problem with fishbowl depth personalities because it's pretty self-explanatory, so let's just move on. Now I want to talk about the premise. Now I want to start with saying having a logical premise is not a necessity to have a good anime. However, it certainly helps a whole hell of a lot. Nobody is going to argue that Kakegurui has a logical plot or logical premise. That's not up for debate. It's not even what the anime goes for. The debate is whether or not it negatively affects the anime. To answer this, one needs to look at the purpose that logical premises serve. Logical premises give viewers a window of reality through which they can empathetically connect to the characters and resonate with their circumstances. If an anime doesn't have a premise through which the viewer can understand the character's circumstances and emotionally connect and resonate with them, then there needs to be some other window in the anime for the viewer to do that. Kakegurui doesn't make up for its lack of a logical premise. In no way does it give the viewer anything to grab onto and connect to emotionally. If this concept is a little vague, let me give an example of what I am talking about. Spoiler alert for Hunter x Hunter! No one can understand what it's like to endure becoming an assassin. The torture training, the assassination training, the emotional detachment training, the concept of putting a kid through those circumstances is so far outside the realm of normality that no one can emotionally connect with Kira through those outlets. However, everyone understands the struggle of trying to reform parts of their personality. Thus, we are able to become emotionally attached to this character. I would hazard to guess that nobody watching Kakegurui can emotionally resonate with the burden of having $1 million gambling debt. And if you can, please see a gambling addiction counselor. Now, someone may say, well, having an emotional connection isn't necessary for an anime to be good. Well, I guess I would just flat out disagree with that. I might say that an emotional connection isn't necessary for an anime to be entertaining. Kakegurui is a lot of fun to watch. It is. I enjoy it. It's a wild, outrageous, and completely absurd anime, and that makes watching it a lot of fun. But I think the thing that separates an anime from being mediocre and entertaining and actually being impactful is an emotional connection. And if you aren't going to have an emotional connection that can be easily acquired through a premise, then to succeed in having a great anime, you need to provide some other way for the audience to form that connection, and Kakegurui doesn't. Thank you all for watching. Hope I didn't offend anybody. I just saw an opportunity to talk about an element that I think is essential for an anime. If you enjoyed this video, please share, like, and subscribe for more. And as always, stay sexy, internet traveler.